Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest at the HGTV Green Home in Palmetto, Georgia, is Jack Thomasson, who's the professional house planner. Jack, how you doing?
Great, Kemp. How are you today?
I'm well. Good to be with you. I believe this is the fifth time we've done one of these interviews, and I appreciate every year when you invite me down. Again, we're in Palmetto, Georgia, in a little development. What's this called?
It's called Serenbe. It's a 1,000-acre development just south of the Atlanta airport.
This is actually near where you live, too, so this has been an advantage for you because you haven't had to fly to get there. But then again, this is the fifth HGTV Green Home that you've done. You've done it in conjunction with Shaw Industries. They're the sole sponsor for all the flooring. So we'll get to that in just a minute. Talk about how you pick these locations because you've been from Hilton Head to Maine, I believe, out to Denver. Talk about how you pick your location.
Yeah, one of the fun responsibilities of my job is that I travel the country looking for the location each year for the HGTV Green Home, and I try to first balance the locations geographically. So as you mentioned, we've been in the Northeast, we've been in South Florida, and we've been in the western part of the country, and now here in Georgia, and it really changes from year to year on what I'm looking for, trying to show a different green experience to the HGTV viewer. And finding this location here in the Atlanta metro area was just so thrilled to find this development, Serenbe, that has been so responsibly developed. They have about 1,000 acres here. From the very beginning, they intended to be a sustainable community, very farm to table. They have a 20-acre organic garden that supplies vegetables to the residents and to the restaurants here in the community. And every home that's built here is required to be Earthcraft certified. And our house is certainly Earthcraft certified, plus we this year achieved gold LEED certification.
All right, so it's a modern farmhouse. You wouldn't be able to even believe that we're probably 20 minutes from the Atlanta airport because it seems like we're in the middle of nowhere. And yet this little community is built up, so that you can walk from the house to places to buy, farm groceries and things like that. A little bit of background. You do the HGTV Dream Home and you do the Green Home. And this home is given away through a sweepstakes. And you were telling me that the entries... Yeah, people can enter every day, but the entries are up 25%. Is that right?
They are. There's something about this house and this community that's just really resonating with our viewers this year, and our entries are just better than ever. We will definitely hit record numbers this year, but it all really boils down to the one entry that becomes the winning entry. And, of course, it's a completely random sweepstakes. You just have to take the time to enter for your chance to win, and there's no cost to enter. There's no criteria. It's really just this wonderful sweepstakes, and the person who ultimately wins gets the house, the furnishings, the accessories, the artwork, $100,000 cash, and a new GMC. So it's an amazing prize package worth around $800,000.
It's about a 2,300 square foot house. One of the neat things about this house is you've built it. You have an architect, a different architect, I think, every year. You have built it in conjunction with Linda Woodrum, who's your interior designer, and y'all have done a great job with this. But one of the neat things about this house, and since we're doing audio here, people can't see it, but the panels open up and it's open air. You've got a room called, I guess, the Georgia room that's got doors that open on both sides, and it's elevated so you get a breeze coming through it. You've got skylights that you can push a button and they open. So there's a lot of open air ventilation in there.
There is, and it makes a lot of sense. We're trying to really show a very efficient use of space, and also to show where if you have occasional rooms that you're not using every day, if you can avoid having to heat and cool those spaces, which we've done in our Georgia room, it saves not only energy, but of course saves dollars. And if you orient the house properly and you position the doors and the windows in the right place, you can get those prevailing breezes to come through, and I guess like they used to do before the invention of heating and air conditioning. And it's really an efficient use of space.
But along those lines, you also have tall ceilings because that's what they used to do in the old days, right?
Right. There's a lot of cubic footage in this house, and so when you have the vaulted ceilings, the heat rises, and in fact we have these two windows at the top of the stairwell which are automated, which provides this chimney effect. So if you've left your home and you turn your AC to a warmer temperature to stay there as you're gone, when you come back, you open those windows and there's this chimney effect that literally sucks the heat out of the house that makes it much faster to cool when you get back, and again saving energy.
Well, since Shaw invited us to be down here, at least on my perspective, we should talk about their flooring. Obviously, you've picked them in this green home because of the green nature of the flooring you've got in here. I know you've got Anso broadloom. You've got their epic hardwood. The hardwood you've got down here goes throughout the house. It's beautiful. It's got the ever-popular distressed look with a little chatter in it. Instead of doing wall-to-wall in most of these areas, you've done broadloom carpet that you've bound into rugs, right?
We have, and it makes these spaces much more versatile. So you have the hardwoods everywhere, literally in every room of the house. And then instead of wall-to-wall carpet, we've bound them as rugs so they can be interchanged at any given point, or if they were to wear out, they're easy to change out. And also Shaw has their cradle-to-cradle and carpet-to-carpet program where if any of these rugs need to be replaced, you can recycle them again. They're recyclable, and Shaw has a facility here in Augusta, Georgia, where they do that.
All right, we've talked about the flooring. That's part of what makes it green, since it is the green home, and we've talked a little bit about the ventilation. I know it's got solar panels on the roof. Tell us a little bit more about what makes it green.
Literally every decision we make, we try to address what I call the hallmarks of green: energy efficiency, water conservation, clean indoor air quality, efficient use of space. And when we are making our decisions, we take those into account. So from an energy efficiency point of view, you mentioned we have solar panels that are contributing more than 50% of the home's energy needs. We have all LED lighting throughout the house, and even though the LED bulbs can be expensive, they last for 20 to 30 years, and they use very little energy. You can see an immediate savings on your power bill with LED technology. From a water conservation point of view, we have low-flow fixtures and low-flow aerators, which reduce the amount of water that's coming out of the faucet, but not necessarily the effectiveness of that stream. So you're saving water, and as well as in our irrigation, where we've used almost all drought-tolerant plants and no lawn in our landscape. There's so much water that is used and wasted every year in irrigation, and we've really limited that in our landscape.
Let me ask you one question. I know a lot of people wonder, and we've on the tail end of this recession, it's been basically the whole time you've been building these green homes, since this is the fifth one. This whole consumer interest in green, obviously you're a cable TV channel. You wouldn't be doing this if people weren't plugging into it. So it's got to mean something to some people. Talk a little bit about the consumer's interest in this green nature of housing.
We have seen the interest in eco-friendly practices and products just grow in measurable terms over the last 5 years since we started this project. 5 years ago, our goal was to take green mainstream, and what we realized is that our consumer is so much more educated now through projects like the HGTV Green Home and other information that's out there, and through consumer demand comes manufacturers who know that they have to produce products that will meet that demand. And so the availability of green products is greater now more than ever, and the prices of those products has come down. If you were shopping, for example, for a green product 3 years ago and it had a little sticker shock, you may go shopping for that same product today and be quite surprised. And it's been a really wonderful development in protecting the environment and ultimately protecting the health of your family and your pocketbook.
You said earlier this house was LEED Gold certified. This house was just finished, took you 5 months to build it. I guess they've sped up the process of issuing the certifications, haven't they?
Well, you have your lead advisors involved from the very beginning, so we knew all along that we were pursuing this certification. And so by the time we finished construction, we had all of our documentation in place to prove what we had constructed. And so the process was a little easier for us because this is our fifth HGTV Green Home, and we understand the process better now, and we're just prepared from the very beginning to pursue those points for the good reason of producing a wonderfully efficient home, and then to have it certified by the U.S. Green Building Council is always nice.
Okay, Jack, it's great to be with you again. We've been talking to Jack Thomasson, who is the professional house planner with the HGTV Green Home, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.